Hello everyone, in this video we're going to go over the Book B, Unit 8 Vocabulary Words, numbers 1 through 30. Let's get started. Our first word is beat. Beat is a verb and it means to hit again and again. But it also means to win against. And it means the regular sound that a drum makes in music. So this word beat can be used in 3 different ways. We will usually use it in this way to say to hit again and again. For example, the boy beat the drum. And we will also use it in this way to win against. For example, this girl beat the other girls. She is the winner, so she beat them. She got number 1, but the other girls got number 2 and number 3. So, when you're writing your sentence, you can choose, do you want to make a sentence talking about the action of hitting something? Or do you want to talk about winning against someone else? Our next word is blast. Blast is a noun and it is an explosion. For example, a bomb caused the blast. Here in these pictures, you can see the fireworks and you can see a bomb. So we can say a sentence like this: I saw the blast of the bomb from far away. Or the fireworks blasted in the sky. Maybe you've heard this before. When a rocket is about to go to space, the people usually say, blast off. That means the fire under the rocket can explode to push the rocket off. So in that time, they say, blast off. Our next word is boil. Boil is a verb and it means to heat a liquid until it starts to turn into a gas. For example, you should boil the water before you pour it over the tea leaves. This is what boiling water looks like. There's many bubbles and after some time, it will start to turn into a gas. This is what a gas looks like. We usually boil water when we are cooking something. So when you're making your sentence, maybe you can say that you boiled the water to cook the noodles, or you boiled the soup. Our next word is bother. Bother is a verb and it means to annoy or give trouble to. For example, the loud noise is bothering us. When you bother someone, you don't leave them alone. This brown bear just wants to read the book, but its friend is bothering him. Maybe this friend wants to play, and this brown bear doesn't want to play. Here too, we have the 2 dogs. This dog just wants to sleep, but this dog wants to play. So, this dog is bothering the other dog. Is there a time when someone bothered you? What did they do to bother you? Did they push you? Did they keep talking to you? What is the thing that bothered you? Our next word is container. Container is a noun and it is something such as a box, bottle, or can that holds or can hold something else. For example, I placed the container of ice cream in the freezer. This is what a container looks like, and we can put many different things inside of these containers. They also come in many different sizes. So, what did you put in the container? Our next word is continue. Continue is a verb and it means to keep happening or being. To last for a long time. For example, the snow continued to fall. The party continued until late into the night. We can also use continue when someone is talking for a long time. even though you asked them to stop talking, they continued to talk. For example, the teacher asked the boy to stop talking, but he continued to talk. Our next word is deserve. Deserve is a verb and it means to have earned something or have a right to something. For example, he deserves our respect. We can make a sentence like this: all girls deserve an education. It means they should get this. They should get an education. There's no reason why they shouldn't get it. Or they have a right because girls are humans. Humans have a right to get an education, so they deserve an education. Or we can say mom works very hard, so mom deserves a present. Or mom deserves a treat. Is there a time when you worked so hard that you deserved a prize for your hard work? Our next word is enemy. Enemy is a noun, and an enemy is a person who hates or wants to harm another person. For example, the king made many enemies among his people. And the important thing here is the antonym. The antonym of enemy is your friend. So friend and enemy are opposite words. For example, I can say Tom and Jerry are enemies. They don't like each other. They want to hurt each other. Or I can say the boy and the girl are enemies. Our next word is experiment. Experiment is a noun and it is a test used to discover something not known, such as the cause of something. Scientists performed experiments on several new kinds of plastic. Of course, scientists are usually the people who are doing experiments, but we can also do experiments when we're in school. For example, take a look at this experiment. They wanted to know what would happen if you touch bread with dirty hands, with hands that have hand sanitizer, and with hands that you washed with soap and water. So in this experiment, we want to know what will happen to the bread. And this is what happened after the experiment. We found out that if you have dirty hands, the bread will grow a lot of germs. If you use hand sanitizer, the bread will be a little bit better, but it will still have some germs. And if you use soap and water, the bread will have almost no germs on it. So from this experiment, what did we learn? We learned that soap and water is the best way to get germs off of your hands. Our next word is flipper. Flipper is a noun and it is a wide, flat limb on a whale, turtle, or other animal that is used for swimming. For example, the diver put on a pair of plastic flippers to help him swim faster. So flippers are these right here. This part of some animals that can swim is what we call the flipper. People can also wear flippers. We have plastic ones that look like giant shoes for swimming under the water. Those are called flippers. Did you ever wear flippers when you went swimming in the ocean or in the pool? Our next word is frighten. Frighten means to cause fear in someone, to make someone afraid. For example, the fierce dog frightened the children. Or the spider frightened the boy. The spider made the boy scared. Or the loud sound made this man scared, so we can say the loud sound frightened the man. Is there anything that has frightened you before? you can make your sentence like this. Something frightened me. And make sure to explain why it frightened you. Why did something frighten you? For example, the spider frightened me because I'm scared of insects. Or the loud sound frightened me because it hurt my ears. Our next word is frozen. Frozen is an adjective and it is changed into a solid or made hard by freezing. Ice is frozen water. When we talk about frozen, we mean that something used to be water, but now it's not water anymore. Now it is solid. It is hard. So, here in this picture, there is a water pipe. This is the pipe, and inside this pipe, there is water. But when it gets too cold, the water is frozen. If your pipe is frozen, the water cannot come out anymore. And of course, we know that ice is frozen water. One time I had a bottle of cola, but it was too hot. So I put it in my freezer so that it could get a little bit colder, but I forgot about it. And I didn't remember until the next day. So when I opened my freezer, my cola was totally frozen. It turned hard. It wasn't liquid anymore. So I couldn't drink it. Our next word is geyser. Geyser is a noun and it is a spring that shoots a stream of hot water, steam, or mud into the air from time to time. This is what a geyser looks like. As you can see, the water is just shooting out from the ground. And this doesn't keep happening all the time, just sometimes the water will shoot out. This happens because underneath the ground there is some very, very hot magma or something that is heating up water. And this water is pushed up out from under the ground and it shoots out very fast. This is what we call the geyser. Although geyser is written with a G-E at the beginning, we pronounce it like this. Guy and then zer. Geyser. So when you're making your sentence, this might be a little bit difficult because you probably haven't seen many geysers in your life. But you can make a simple sentence like this. The geyser shot out from the ground very quickly. Or let's look at the example. Hiking up to the geyser, the group of tourists were amazed by how high the spring water shot into the air. Just make a simple sentence with this one. The geyser was amazing, or the geyser shot up high into the air. Our next word is group. Group is a noun and it is a collection of people, things, or ideas that are in one place or have important things in common. For example, put the green chairs in one group and the white chairs in another. We are putting them in a group because they have something that is similar. These chairs are green and the other chairs are white, so they need two different groups. Here we have a group of children. They are all children, so they are together as a group. Here are a group of monkeys. All of the things here are monkeys, so it is a group of monkeys. When you're making your sentence, you can either talk about a group of something, a group of people doing something, a group of children doing something, or you can talk about group this way, like I put the green chairs in one group and the white chairs in another. Our last word is herd. Herd is a noun and it is a group of cattle or wild animals that feed and travel together. And the word herd also has a verb that means to gather or come together as a herd. So you can use this word as a noun and you can use it as a verb. The first one as a noun, we waited for the herd of cattle to cross the road. Here we're talking about the animals. The group of these animals together is called a herd. Here is a herd of cows. Here is a herd of zebras. Maybe you can make a sentence talking about something that they are doing. For example, the herd of zebras is eating grass, or the herd of cows is running on the meadow. Or you can use it the second way as the verb, to gather or come together. The children herded, they came together, into the cafeteria. Or the children herded into the bus. They came together into somewhere. Number 16 is meadow. Meadow is a noun, and a meadow is an open field of grass that is growing wild or is used for pasture or to grow hay. That means this is an open field. There's nothing here except grass, and it can be used for animals to walk around and eat the grass, or as a place to grow some hay, some food for animals. Let's look at the example. The sheep grazed in the meadow. The sheep were eating some grass in the meadow. Can you think of some animals that you might find in a meadow and make a sentence like this? The blank grazed in the meadow. Our next word is mud. Mud is a noun, and it is wet earth that has turned soft. For example, the dog was covered in mud. This is what mud looks like. We often see mud after a rainy day. You can say, my boots were covered in mud after the rainy day. Or, the boy's hands and feet were covered in mud. Our next word is noise. Noise is a noun, and noise just means a sound, any sound. It can be a quiet sound or it can be a loud sound. There was no noise coming from the room. Or, she heard noises in the basement. Have you ever heard a noise that was very loud? Where did it come from? Maybe you can say, I heard a loud noise coming from somewhere. Where was the loud noise coming from? Our next word is protected. Protected is an adjective, and it means safe from harm, especially because of a law or rule that keeps something safe. For example, the bison in the park are protected from hunters. Animals that are protected means they can't be hurt or they shouldn't be hurt. So sometimes you'll see a sign that looks like this one here, that it says protected species, and it'll have a picture of the animal and it will say do not harm. That means this animal is in danger. Maybe there's not many of this snake left, so we need to take care of it. It is protected. When you're writing a sentence, you can write it like this: blank are protected animals. Remember, you're talking about all of the animals, not just one giraffe, but all giraffes are protected animals. So you need to put the letter S at the end of the animal's name to show that you're talking about all of that animal. Our next word is prove. Prove is a verb, and it means to show to be true or correct. For example, the evidence failed to prove the guilt of the prisoner. So, whenever there is a police officer or a detective, they have to prove that a bad guy has done something wrong. They need to look for clues, and they need to show why they think that this person did something wrong. That is what we call prove. You have to prove that something is true. Sometimes when you are reading a story, You can prove that your answer is correct by checking the story one more time. If my answer to this question, I have a brother and his name is John. My answer is John. How can I prove that my answer is correct? I can prove it by underlining it in the story. Here it says, his name is John. That means my answer is correct. I proved that it is correct. Our next word is shade. Shade is a noun and it is the dark area caused when light is blocked. Light from the sun is always coming down, but when it is blocked, it makes this dark area that we call the shade. On hot days, I like to sit in the shade like this girl here. Or I can use an umbrella for shade. When you're writing your sentence, you can write it like this. I can use blank for shade, something that gives you shade, such as an umbrella or a hat or anything at all that can block the sun is giving you shade. Our next word is smooth. Smooth is an adjective and it means not rough, something that is even. For example, a baby's skin is very smooth. So here I have a picture of a ball and a picture of a rock. Of course, the ball is smooth, it's very even, but the rock is not even. It has many sharp turns, so it is called rough. We can also use this to describe some vegetables. Here I have a pineapple and apples. So I can say the apples are smooth, but the pineapple is rough. Our next word is soar. Soar is an action word. It is a verb and it means to fly high and with little effort. Little effort means that it is easy. Something is flying high and it's very easy to fly high. For example, here we can say the bird soared over the fields and mountains. Or this is an eagle. Maybe we can say the eagle soared through the air. It's flying through the air very easily. Or we can even say the kite soared in the sky. Our next word is spring. Spring is a noun and spring is a flow of water from the earth. For example, we stopped in the woods to drink water from a spring. A spring looks like this, and it may look like a river, but the difference is that the water comes up from the earth. It comes from the ground. You can often find springs in the woods or in a forest. Our next word is steady. Steady is an adjective and it means having a continuous and regular movement. Something that is steady keeps moving at the same speed. He's not going faster, he's not going slower, he is steady. He is walking at the same speed. Here, the penguins also have a steady pace. This is how you can use this word. We worked at a steady pace until we finished. He was walking at a steady pace to the park. The penguins were walking at a steady pace to the ocean. Use these two words together, steady and pace. You don't only have to use this with walking, you can use this with other verbs too, such as talking. She was talking at a steady pace. Or she was eating at a steady pace. Our next word is ton. Ton is a noun and it is a unit of weight that is equal to 2,000 pounds. So the word ton just helps us talk about things that are very heavy. Instead of saying this large number, we use the word ton. So when I talk about an elephant, how many tons do you think an elephant is? An elephant can be between 2 to 7 tons. And let's look at this whale. How heavy do you think this whale is? Well, a whale can be 30 times heavier than an elephant. So this whale here can be about 100 tons. And this car here, do you think the car is heavier or lighter than the elephant? Well, most cars are usually only between 1 to 1.5 tons. So the elephants are heavier. If you want to search how heavy something is, you can ask on your computer, how many tons is a blah blah blah. How many tons is, and then your item here. That way you can search it on the computer and you can make a sentence. Blah 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 is how many tons. Our next word is trail. Trail is a noun, and trail is a path or course through a forest or other rural place. For example, the group followed the trail through the forest to the top of the mountain. This is what a trail looks like. When you're hiking in a mountain, the trail is the place where the people walk. When you're writing a sentence, maybe you can write one like this. We walked on the trail, or you can say, we walked along the trail to go to where? Where were you going? To the top of the mountain? Where? Our next word is waterfall. Waterfall is a noun, and it is a stream of water that falls from a higher place. They reached the shore before their boat fell over the waterfall. Waterfall can be dangerous for people who are on boats because if they don't know that the waterfall is there, then their boat can fall over the waterfall. But waterfalls are very beautiful when you're looking at them from far away. Our next word is wolves. Wolves. When you're saying this word, you can pronounce it this way. W-U-L-V-Z. Wolves. This way, it will help you say it correctly. Wolves is the plural form of the word wolf. Only one is called a wolf, but if you're talking about many, we need to say wolves. I put this word here on your vocabulary because many times we forget that it is a special word, and I will see many people just say wolves like this, but this is wrong. So please be careful, make sure you're using the correct word when you're talking about more than one wolf. And our last word is wrinkle. Wrinkle is a noun, and a wrinkle is a fold on a surface, such as cloth or skin. For example, old people have wrinkles on their skin. This is what wrinkles look like on the skin. As we become older, our skin starts to fold, and that makes these wrinkles. Our clothing too, if you don't fold your clothing neatly, then your clothing can get these folds called wrinkles. And to get those wrinkles out, we need to iron the wrinkles. And even some animals can have wrinkly skin like this. This dog has many folds on his skin. They can be also called wrinkles. And that's all for this video. We went over the Book B, Unit 8 Vocabulary Words, numbers 1 through 30. Thanks for listening. Bye!